Very good afternoon to everyone, and I welcome you to the webinar on life skills management organized by Geeta Ratan International Business School. Geeta Ratan International Business School was established in the year 2004. GIBS is affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Interpersonal University, Delhi, and is approved by All India Council for Technical Education, Ministry of HRD, Government of India for Technical Programs, and Bar Council of India for Law Programs. Geeta Ratan is currently offering postgraduate programs, namely MBA, MBA IB, and undergraduate programs, namely BBA LLB, BA LLB, and BBA. GIBS has been graded A by National Assessment and Accreditation Council in second cycle. It is an ISO 9001-2015 certified institute. GIBS has been rated A+ by the State Fee Regulatory Committee, a fee committee of Government of NCT of Delhi, and rated highest grading A by Joint Inspection Committee of Government of NCT of Delhi and GGS IP University. GIBS has been rated grade A by Academic Audit Cell of GGS IP University consecutively from past 8 years. Also, Geeta Ratan has been rated number 2 by Times B School Survey consecutively for last 3 years. There is a rapidly changing social, economic, and political structure in the environment, and there is need to keep pace with demands and challenges caused by these transformations. Realizing this need for sustainable upskilling, UNICEF, UNESCO, and WHO have listed the 10 core life skill strategies and techniques that need to be acquired by individuals in order to guide learners cope with their existential concerns with ease and grace. This program has been designed to introduce participants to a group of psychological and interpersonal skills with a view to developing in them the requisite capacity for optimal performance. This webinar is organized under MOE IIC as a self-driven activity with the focus on faculty members, as they are the backbones of any institute and shoulder the responsibility for the development of necessary ecosystem. So the objective of the webinar are to sensitize participants on changing environment challenge and to help participants develop requisite interpersonal and life skills for their optimal survival. For this event today, we have Dr. Rita Gangwani as the speaker. Dr. Gangwani is honored by World Book of Records for her contribution in the fields of personality development, pageantry, modeling, and motivating the youth of India with right values. Dr. Gangwani has an experience of 36 years to her credit. She is the founder of Rita Gangwani's House of Personality Transformation and author of the best-seller pageant book ever written by an Indian author. She stands tall as a very successful entrepreneur and is a much sought after pageant coach and personality development mentor nationally as well as internationally. Dr. Gangwani explains that her initiative entails teaching people how to lead extraordinary lives through the power of living in the moment. She educates and inspires with the perfect blend of wisdom, healing therapies, etiquette tools, training programs, razor sharp insights, and humor. Dr. Gangwani has been instrumental in helping countless people dramatically improve and enhance their social and business skills, performance, confidence, and self-worth. She has given India many national and international pageant winners. Ma'am has taken workshops at prestigious corporate and Fortune 500 companies with more than 25 years of work experience as a trainer and thousands of workshops to her credit with millions of students worldwide. She has been an expert as well as a jury for many prestigious national and international beauty pageants and contests. She has trained many aspiring models and Miss or Mr. India contestants, some of whom have gone on to represent India at various prestigious pageants and contests all over the world. Manushi Chiller, for example, Miss World 2017, is trained in personality development by Rita Gangwani. She is the first coach to hold her hand and introduce her to the world of pageantry. We welcome you, ma'am, to this webinar, and I request you now to please begin with the session.
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. This is the first time I'm meeting you. And I think I have seen a lot of familiar faces. I see a lot of familiar faces here. So thank you very much. The name says D. Harpreet for introducing me. And the topic today is on life skills. So before even I begin, I would just like to say that life skills is a very, very vast subject. There are 16 core life skills which people should have. And in 1 hour, it will be very, very difficult for me to cover all 16 of them. So I'm just going to keep this more generic life skills. And in case required, that each topic has to be taken separately, I may take it separately in future. So let's go ahead. Give me the permission to share my presentation. Harpreet, there's a problem. I'm unable to share.
Ma'am, we have not restricted any
Yeah,
access.
just a minute. I'm just checking it out. Okay. Is it visible, Harpreet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So let me go ahead. Welcome to everyone to this special session on life skills. I have given the name to this presentation, the name, the finishing touch. Why the finishing touch? It's because we all feel that we know the nitty-gritties of how to run our lives. But how do we actually refine? How do we actually polish and be living in a very, very beautiful and a balanced way? That is why the polishing part is called finishing. So the name does has been given, the finishing touch. So tips for self transformation. And as I said, this is Riga House, my company's name. So what is life skills? If we actually look at the definition by the WHO, it says the basic life skill means emotional, social, and intellectual tools needed to achieve success in life on a personal level and interpersonal level and within the community and places. So if we actually go by the definition of World Health Organization, it says that life skills is having physical, mental, social, cultural, and spiritual balance in your life. But we actually, when we look at our own lives, we realize that somewhere or the other, out of these five elements, again, I will explain it in a form of an example. This earth is made up of five elements: fire, water, air, the earth, Jal, Vayu, Prithvi, Akash, and Agni. These are the five elements which have made this earth worth living. Why worth living? Because all these five elements are in a balance. If there was too much of air, हम लोग उड़ जाते. If there was too much of fire, हम लोग जल जाते. So that is why God created this earth in a balance. Everything is in a balance, and that is why the earth is worth living. Similarly, if you really want to be a balanced person, you want to live your life in a balanced way, you have to have a balance in your physical, mental, social, cultural, and spiritual well being. But what happens if we actually look at the realities of life? Let's say when we say physical, so many people we see nowadays are so obsessed with looking nice and they are putting filters and all just because they want to get accepted by the society. So that means that element is not in a balance. Some people lose their temper in seconds. They just don't know what to say where. So somewhere their emotional stability is out of balance. So if you really want to actually have great life skills, you have to work on all those five elements of life. So the most important life skills can be categorized into three different types of headings. The one is self awareness. First, before you even get to understand the world, first thing you need to do is to understand yourself, understand your persona. You have to be aware about what is right, what is wrong, what is my strength, what is my weakness, and where do I balance myself. The second thing is interpersonal skills. Once you know yourself, you would realize that you are different. The person in front of you is different. The third person is different. We all have different personalities. We don't think alike. What may be right for me may be wrong for the other person. So when we are interacting with people, we have to keep this interpersonal skills in mind. How do I deal with people? In case I have to lose my temper, how do I talk to somebody? How do I give feedback to somebody? How do I negotiate with somebody? How do I actually make that other person feel important and get my work done as well? Because we all have the basic, we would say, necessity. Everybody wants to be loved and appreciated. And if you think that you are better than the other person, then there is no emotional balance. There is no less of EQ, as we say. So interpersonal skills. And the third is the thinking skills. You have to be mentally very, very sharp. You have to have your emotions in control. So in other words, if I explain the life skills, I would say the quotients. We only know about emotional quotient and intelligent quotient, but we require the five quotients: the IQ, the intelligent quotient, that means the basic necessity for intelligence; EQ, emotional quotient, on how to deal with people; social quotient, how do I carry myself in society; physical quotient, how do I carry myself; HQ, that is health quotient, how do I keep myself fit, because a fit body only can have a fit mind. So coming to the skills which we are going to talk about today, as I said, I'm going to keep it generic today because there is 16 skills with this: time management, stress management, self management, and so much stuff which requires a whole day to talk about. So in an hour, I will try to do justice by talking generic about all these skills. But before I begin, I would like to start with a story. I know all of you out there are sitting, are all, doctors and very, very accomplished people. But this story is specifically for all of you today. Is that just like you are sitting to learn from me, similarly, a student went to a Zen master and he said, "Master, I want to learn from you." So the master said, "Sure, I will teach you. But let's do one thing. And before we start the class, let's have a cup of tea." So the kettle was brought, the two cups was brought, and the master started pouring the tea from the kettle into the cup. And the cup started overflowing. The cup is overflowing, overflowing, overflowing. And the student is looking at the master. What is master doing? The cup is overflowing and he's continuing to pour the tea. So he couldn't help it. And he said, "Master, what are you doing? The cup is overflowing." So the master said, "Yes, this is the first lesson I wanted to teach you. You have come to me with full of knowledge. I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that. You all will have a lot of knowledge about this subject of life skills. I understand. But my request to you is that if you know so much and I try to pour in the stuff, it is going to outflow. So my request to you is, even if you know a lot about life skills, just turn your cup upside down. Make it empty so that I can pour what I know about life skills into that cup. A humble request to learn with a fresh mind and open mind. So, because we are talking about life skills, it's important to understand life first. So, this is the question I normally ask a lot of people: what is life? And some people say life is a journey. Somebody will say life is a struggle. Somebody will say life is fun. I think you ask this question from anyone, everyone will have a different definition of what is life. So even I was confused. So I'm a disciple of a particular spiritual master. So I went to my master and I said, "Sir, everybody says different about what is life. So can you tell me what is life?" And he gave me a beautiful example. He says, "Have you ever been to a cremation ground?" I said, "Yes." He said, "If you look at the cremation ground, you will see a lot of samadhis out there. And if you go closely and read the samadhi, the name of the person will be there. And then it will be the name, the date that person was born, and then a dash and a date when the person died." And he says, "You know what is life? Life is the dash between the birth and the death." What a beautiful definition. Life is a dash between the birth and the death. And how do you live that dash is in your own hands. Some people crib and cry about living that life. And some people face the life. It's not, it's how you respond to the life that matters. वरी करने से, चिंता करने से प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होती तो हम सब इकट्ठे मिलके एक दूसरे के लिए रोते, ओ माय गॉड इसको प्रॉब्लम है लेट्स क्राई, इसको प्रॉब्लम है लेट्स क्राई। बट वरी करने से, सोचने से, रोने से प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं होती। Some people blame the destiny and some people make their destiny. It's all in your own hand. How do you respond to this life? So life doesn't come with an instruction manual. कोई instruction manual नहीं आता, ऐसे करो ऐसे करो ऐसे करो. We learn life by hit and trial, and that is also how we learn life skills. For simple example, how you look at life, another beautiful story I'll share with you, that there was this little baby mosquito, and for the first time he was flying. He was told by his parents, you go fly and see the world, and they had taught him how to suck the blood and everything. So this little baby mosquito was flying, flying, flying. And when he came back, the parents asked him, how was your experience about the world? What, tell us what happened? He says, Mom, Dad, I'm so happy today. Wherever I went today, everybody was clapping for me. Everybody was clapping for me. And you actually know, when a mosquito comes to us, how do we clap and why do we clap? But he was so happy that everybody was clapping for me. And so he was looking at life more positively, rather than knowing why were they clapping to. They were clapping to kill him, but he thought that they were clapping to make him feel happy, positive, welcoming him. So same as the story of life. You face a lot of situations in life. How do you look at it? How do you react to that situation is what matters. If you look at your own self, because today I'm going to focus more about self awareness, that is the first life lesson you have to learn. As I said, first you have to discover yourself, why you are what you are. You know, I will just tell you, when we are growing up and when our personalities are being made, there are three people who play the most important part. The first one is our family, that is our first school. The second is our teachers, primary teachers who actually make you. And third is our friends. These are the three most important people. We are all born like a white sheet of paper, nothing is written on it. But these are the three people who actually start writing on that piece of paper. And what they write will create what you are today. All of us have our own phobias. We are scared of some things. We are comfortable about some things. Why? Why somebody is scared of height? Why somebody is scared of snake? There has to be a reason. So just to give you an example, if you look at a baby elephant is very naughty. He just wants to run and play. So what the elephant keeper does, he ties a big chain on the foot of that baby elephant so that the baby elephant cannot run. Now this naughty elephant, he wants to run. But as soon as he runs, the chain tugs at him, gives him a lot of pain, and he stops it. He tries it couple of times, and couple of times he's stopped. So he realizes that, oh, I cannot run, and he gives up running, and he starts staying in the same place where he's tied up. And as the elephant starts growing up, those people, they remove the chains and they just tie him with a big rope. Now this huge elephant, who's tons and tons of kgs, can actually just tug at that little rope and free himself. But he doesn't do it because he's conditioned in his mind that he cannot run away. He is tied up. The same thing happens with us when we are children. We are tied up. Mom says, you cannot do this. This cannot happen to you. भाई को देख, बहन को देख, वो कितना अच्छा कर रहा है, ये इतना अच्छा कर रहा है. So all these little sentences may be said unconsciously, actually stops us from going ahead in life. We are talking about how a personality is made as we are growing up, how we develop the kind of positive or negative life skills. I'll give you an example of how a personality is made. I told you those three people are working on us. So let me give you an example, that let's say the mother and father are working, And that little child is all alone in the house and is being raised by the house help. He comes back from school and he's very lonely and he doesn't know what to do. So this little child looks around and he sees the servant child is playing, somewhere in the garden. And he gets very tempted. I also want to play. So he goes and joins the servant's child to play with him. And he's all, dirty, mucky, playing in that garden. The mother and father come at 5 p.m. and they see this child is all mucky and all that. And he says, "What were you doing?" So I was playing. "With whom were you playing?" "I was playing with my servant's child." And out comes a big thappad on his face. And they say, why do you play with the servant's child? You don't know. He is going to teach you all wrong things, blah, 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 blah. And this little child, when he gets that thappad, he develops a personality trait. I am good, but you are not good. So he sees I am better and you are not good. So he develops this superiority complex and he starts looking down on people who are lower than him. He thinks they are not good. I am good. So here a personality is developed. I am good, but you are not good. On the other side, there is this child. He's going to school and his friends are telling him, the we had guests at home and my mother told me serve water to them. So I was carrying the tray and I was serving water to everybody, and everybody was very happy. And they said, "Wow, what a wonderful thing to do, you're serving water to everyone." So this child is listening and he's thinking, next time when the guests come home, I will also serve them water. So when the guests come home, he gets this tray of water and he starts going from one person to another. Here the mother stops him. "नो नो नो, तुम मत करो, तुमसे नहीं होगा, ग्लास टूट जाएंगे, प्लीज प्लीज प्लीज, नीचे रखो नीचे रखो." Now where this guy is stopped from working, he gets this little mind map in his mind. I am not good, you are good. I cannot do things, but my friends can do it, they are better than me. I am not good, they are good. So he start getting this inferiority complex, that others are better than me, they can perform better than me. In the third side, there is this little child who does good, tabhi bhi thappad padta hai, bura karta hai, tabhi bhi thappad padta hai, because there is so much going on in his family. He is never appreciated. For good and bad, he gets beaten up. So he develops a mind map. I am not good, and you are also not good. He's seeing his parents fighting, things happening at home. So he develops this: I am not good, and you are not good. And on the other side, there is a child who's appreciated when he does good, who's told very nicely when he does something bad, and everything is in a balance. And he develops the personality: I am good and you are good. So there are four different kinds of ways personalities are developed. When we talk about superiority complex, that person says, I am good and you are not good. When we talk about inferiority complex, it's I am not good, but you are good. And on the other side, loners, people who just do not want to mix around with people, develop this: I am not good and you are not good. And people who are successful, people who merge with others, who talk to others, are extroverts, develop the personality: I am good and you are also good. So the base of our life skills actually starts right from our childhood, and we all are carrying scars with us. If you actually go back into your childhood, you will be able to recall some remark, something from your teacher, something from your friend, some comparison, which actually scars us for lifetime, and we don't open up. But just like that elephant, we don't realize that you can rescue yourself. Nobody is going to come and rescue you. You just have to break that chain and come out of that mindset that I'm not good or whatever is happening. And there are so many people who themselves are not happy about their lives. Then how would they actually implement the skills required to deal with people around them? So you are responsible for your life, and you have to take charge of your own life. Nobody is going to come and help you with that. I'm going to tell you about my own life skills. How did I develop it? When I was a little child, I'm not very tall. A lot of people know I'm just 4 feet 9 inches. And in school, I saw that everybody was taller than me. And especially in the teenager time, everybody had grown taller, and I remained as short as I was. And I was always very fond of stage, and I wanted to be on stage. So there was once when I was in class 7 or something, there was this school annual function to be happened, and I went to my teacher and I said I want to audition for the school play for the leading role. She laughed at me in front of all the students out there. I'm talking here interpersonal skills. She laughed at me in front of everyone and she says, "Ye dekho do guthiya, ye banegi heroine. Have you ever seen your face? Do you think you are capable enough to become a heroine?" When I argued, she slapped me. I can still feel that tingling of that slap on my face. She slapped me and she threw me out of that room. And indirectly, she imprisoned me in my mental prison. And I was in that mental prison of mine. I'm not good. I cannot do anything. I'm not worth it. And there was a time also when I was rejected again and again and again in life, that I actually gave up on life. I even attempted to give up on my life, but I was saved. You know what? Whenever you go through bad phase in your life, God always sends somebody, some angel in your life. You have to recognize that person who's going to really turn your life around. And in my case, it came as a form of another teacher. I was a music student and she realized I was not coming to the school anymore. So she came home to meet me and she came with this 100 rupee note. And that's why you see this 100 rupee note there. She came with the 100 rupee note and she asked me, "Beta, if I take this 100 rupee note to the market, how much of change will I get?" I said, "Ma'am, 100 ka 100 ही change मिलेगा." Then she crushed that note and she says, "अब कितना change मिलेगा?" I said, 100. फिर उसको गंदा किया. She says, "अब कितना चेंज मिलेगा?" I said, "मैम 100." She says, "बेटा, जैसे इस 100 रुपए के नोट को मैंने गंदा किया, क्रश किया, लेकिन उसकी वैल्यू उतनी ही रही. It didn't lose its value. Similarly, society will try to break you, will put you down in so many ways, but always realize your value can never be changed. If you know your value, nobody can put you down." So she said, first thing in this life, if you really want success, you need to realize that you have a value. And that can only come when you start loving your own self. And she made me sit down with a paper and pen, draw a line on the center, write my strengths on one side and my weaknesses on the other side. And she says, "Write whatever you think is good and bad." And when I wrote, she says, "See, all the good side is almost full. The bad side is just 2, 3 things. The only thing you need to do is to focus. You know, whatever you focus looks bigger and bigger. So you are always focusing on your height, on negatives. That's why it's looking so big to you. First thing you have to do to find your worth is to change the focus to your strengths. When you change the focus to your strengths, they will become bigger and you will see your life change. And that was the turning point of my life. Her last statement was, "Do not make anybody else's opinion your own reality." And that was the changing sentence of my life. I started focusing on my positives, and slowly it grew. And all of a sudden, you know, when you start focusing on positives, even the universe opens the doors for you. I was just walking around and I see this newspaper, "Wanted women in the army," and I'm talking 1976. Hardly any women in the army. And then I saw it was the military nursing services, and you were to be commissioned as officer. And again, I looked 3 times. There may be a height criteria. No, it was a competitive exam. I sat through it. I went through that tough training, and I came out to be the first lady army officer in MNS Corps from Himachal Pradesh. And it all happened because I took charge of my own life. So before anything else, self awareness is most important. What is stopping you from going ahead in life? What is stopping you from interacting with people? What is stopping you from thinking positively? Always remember, life comes in all shapes and sizes. We are all perfect in our own imperfections. So never ever think that you are less than anyone else. Never ever think you cannot achieve anything in life. The day you take charge of your own life, you will be able to take charge of your students, your family, professionally, personally. Everywhere you will find success. So let's take the steps to transform ourselves today. I hope I'm able to give you the basics in this 1 hour so that you get motivated to work upon yourself. So a lot of people get puzzles from where do I start. So what they do start, the trend nowadays, cut, copy, paste. You look at somebody who's doing well, you start doing the same things. And unfortunately, you become a clone or a replica of someone else. Why would you become successful? Why do successful become successful? Because they work on their own strengths. They work on being different. They work on their own uniqueness. Imagine if everybody was a replica of everybody, you would not find successful people. You will all be the same. So you need to work upon yourself. And so, do you think, when I ask people, do you think looking good, speaking good, wearing designer clothes all makes a good personality? No. I've already told you it's wrong. You need to work on your physical, mental, social, cultural, and spiritual qualities, and they all need to be in a balanced form. You are the only one who can identify where you are going wrong. And then you also have to remember every human being has to play three roles in life. One is personal. First, you be happy with yourself. Then is social, the people around you. And then is professional, your students, your colleagues, wherever you're working, that environment. So you start with your own self. That is the first step. Then you move to the social step. And then you move to the professional step. And if you actually look back, you will see all three are interrelated. So relationships work on how people feel about you. We are still at the personal level. So only when people will like you, only then they will interact with you, and only then the things will start moving ahead in life. Even if you get impressed by somebody's looks, the moment you start talking to that person, you realize that there's not worth it. It's not worth knowing a person. So relationships work on how you make people feel about you. And all this works on something very important, which is called impression. So man is a social animal. We all are interconnected. We all want to be with each other. And man also has good and bad qualities. We have good qualities, compassion, kindness, sympathy, empathy. But we also have bad qualities, jealousy, hatred, comparison. And we all have it. But what you need to do is what to work upon. You need to grow in your career, in your personal life. So what life skills needs to be taken ahead, and what life skills needs to be put down. Even those are skills of life. We have been born with it with default. We cannot ignore them. So there is no point on working on yourself unless you can learn to leave a lasting impression. So the first thing about becoming self-awareness, about now moving towards the social part of your life, is that you need to leave a good impression on people. So before we go ahead about how do social things get in connection with the self as we move ahead in life, creating our life skills, we need to first understand what is first impression. As I said, everything depends on impression. What impression you give to other people, whether it's your personal life, whether it is your professional life, depends on how your interaction with that person will be in future. Whether it is at your office, whether it's with your colleagues, whether it is with your students, whether it is in your personal life, friends, everywhere, people are all the time creating impressions about you. And they better be positive. If they are negative, things will go wrong. So let me tell you how an impression is created. So first and foremost, just to give you an example, whenever we are trying to click a picture or a selfie, we have the cell phone and we keep it like this, and there is this round click button of the camera. We click that button and our image gets stored in the hard disk of our mobile. Similarly, there is a camera on human body also. Eyes are the lenses. Brain is the hard disk. But there is also a click button on human camera. And when I ask this question from people, where do you think is the click button of human camera? People come up with all kinds of answers. Smile, handshake. No, That is not the click button of human camera. We actually click that button, and that click button of the human camera is the blink of an eye. You look at a person and you blink. The moment you blink, the picture of that person gets stored in our brain. So the next question normally comes is, then how much time does it take to create first impression? And the answer is that it only takes 2 to 5 seconds to create the first impression. Only 2 to 5 seconds. कितना नाइंसाफी देखो भगवान ने किया है हमारे साथ. We only get 2 to 5 seconds to create an impression. और उसको मिटाने में कई बार पूरा जिंदगी लग जाता है. कई बार till death we are unable to change the impression. That's why the saying goes that first impression is the last impression. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता you are out and you enter the room, impression खराब हो गया, कोई बात नहीं, मैं बाहर जाके दोबारा एंट्री लेती हूँ. नहीं हो सकता, because first impression cannot be created twice. First impression is the last impression. And everything about life, even when we go shopping, we look at a thing, we get impressed, we buy it. We talk to people, we look at the thing, talk to people, we like the person, we get impressed, we buy it. So the life revolves around impression. And the first step on building your life skill is to create a positive impression wherever you go. So how impressions are made? If you look at the 100% of communication, we will say 55% people are looking at you, because I just said they are clicking the picture. अभी तक हमने बात नहीं शुरू की है. So people are clicking the picture in their mind, which is visual. So 55% people are judging you visually. 38% people judge you by the quality of your voice, your tone, your dialect, what kind of a person you are. Your background can be judged by the way you speak. And when you meet people for the first time, it's only 7% they are actually listening to you. Only 7%. And that is why when you go somewhere, even when you go to a party and you're talking to people for 2 hours, when the person is gone, you say, "Arey yaar, iska naam kya tha?" Because you were so busy with that 55%, which is the major chunk of first impression. 55%. And in this major chunk of 55%, what do people see? The first thing people will see is your dress, your grooming, your accessories, because that is so much visible to you. That is the physical part of that personality I was talking about. Out of the 5 elements, the physical, the way you present yourself, your dress, your grooming, your accessories, that is what is most visible to a person. That's the first thing people will see. Second, they will see your verbal and non-verbal communication, because now we will start communicating. And many a times we communicate without even talking. Our body starts talking. And the gestures which we are holding, the eye contact which we have, the smiles which we have on our face, the attitude with which we talk to a person will either make or break your connection with that person. For that matter, I always say, when we talk about first impression, I call it 12 into 12 into 12 theory. And what does that mean? The first 12 words which come out of your mouth, the first 12 steps you take into a room, and the first 12 inches from your head till your arm's length are most important. How you talk to people, what do you say to them, what is available to see for people to notice. That means your complete face, your facial expressions, your smile, your eye contact, your hand gestures, everything matters. And the first 12 steps, how much of a confidence do you have, matter a lot wherever you go in life. And that is why there is a saying, before you speak, your image speaks. The physical part is the first thing people notice, whether it is a personal interaction or whether it's a professional interaction. And here I'm talking to faculty members, it's a professional interaction. So you must know, how do you present yourself to people wherever you go. So there are shirts available. There is a shirt of 500 rupees also, and there is a shirt of 5,000 rupees also. Why do we go and purchase that expensive shirt? Because we know that we don't buy clothes, we buy value. We know as it will enhance your life and personality, that look will give you a good look. And so you invest in that expensive thing because it adds value to you. Why would somebody invest in you if you don't add value to their organization, or you don't add value to their personal life? Why would people want to be friends with you? Why would somebody want to hire you? So it's extremely important. Similarly, people value you by the impression you leave on them. And as I said, the first impression, the physical presence is most important wherever you go. Remember, you never get a second chance to create first impression. So wherever you go, whether you're entering the classroom for the first time, at that first interaction with your student is going to last with him throughout his time he's in the college. If he doesn't like the teacher in the first look, the behavior of the child will, or the impression on that child's mind will remain negative. And if it's positive, it's always positive. So to leave a good impression, we are talking about the physical part today, the self-awareness. So to build that great first impression on the mind of the people around you, the first life skill you need to pick up is the law. You have to learn the law of life. And what does that mean? The law of life means the first thing you have to take charge of is your physical presentation. The second is your body language. L is looks. A is actions, that is your body language. And third is the words which you say. What to say and what not to say. Again, I'm saying 55% people judge you by the way they look at you. That is your dress, your grooming, your verbal and your non-verbal communication. And in other words, you need to first focus on yourself. If you need to leave a good impression on people, if you want people to have great relationships with you in life, you need to first focus on yourself. Where am I going wrong? Where am I going right? What are the things I need to improve on? I meet a lot of, I'm sorry to be saying this, but I train at a lot of colleges, a lot of management schools, IIM, MDIs, and there I have seen many times a faculty walks in, and when the faculty walks in, the students look at the faculty and they don't feel comfortable because maybe it's a guest faculty, the person is wearing maybe an unpressed shirt and maybe the trousers, I mean the combination, there is no visual impact that person is leaving, and students switch off, and this person maybe has come to teach personality development. How do you expect a child would react to that teacher? So the first thing you need to focus on yourself. Where am I going wrong? Is my tone right when I speak? Is my body language right when I speak? Do I intimidate people? Do I look very dominant? Do I feel that I have a person with a lot of attitude? First thing, before somebody talks to you, first thing before somebody even wants to be with you need to work on your own self. So that's why I'm talking about law. So when we talk about grooming, so whatever you wear or you carry is the extension of your personality, which also includes your personal hygiene, your dress, grooming, and accessories. So today I will give you a quick look on a professional dressing sense for a good faculty member or somebody who's teaching, because as I'm saying, we are now on the first step of learning the life skill, and the first step is self management. The first step is to be aware of your own self. So if there are any grooming mistakes you are doing, that is the first thing we need to work upon. So let's first talk about professional dress. You all are working in a management organization and you need to know what is formal, what is informal, what is casual, what is semi-formal. All these are the terms you should be aware of. So when we talk about formal wear, a formal shirt, let's talk about for gentlemen. I'll come to the ladies in a while, or there are more of ladies, I think. So first I'll go to the ladies first, as they say. So in a professional environment, it's always good for an academician to be wearing either a sari or a salwar kurta. Now that sari and salwar kurta, or maybe you're wearing a western wear, that's perfectly all right. We can wear western wear also. So when I talk about western wear, it's common to between both the boys and the girls, the gentlemen and the ladies. So Let me come to the Western wear first. So when we talk about the formal shirt, now what are the colors for the formal shirt? The colors for, I'm sure you're already teaching this to your student. Maybe I add a little more to it. So a formal shirt is always full sleeves, we know. But there are two things you must remember about the formal colors. The colors are solid and they are mostly light. But two important things when you pick up your formal shirt: one, that it should be full sleeves; two, it should have a hard collar. If the collar is soft, it is not a formal shirt. Now, a lot of people don't like wearing plain shirts. Okay, fine. If you don't like it, you can wear stripes. And the stripes have to be vertical stripes. No checks. Checks are not formal, because when you are in front of people, when people focus on you, the checks start moving. It creates a psychedelic effect. So checks are not formal. Plain shirts, striped shirts. Always remember, the shirts are always light and the trousers are always dark. A shirt with a formal, with a hard collar. Then comes your trousers. The trousers have to be dark. So dark shades like black, navy blue, charcoal, gray, dark brown, olive green. These are the colors for your trousers. How long your trousers should be? The trouser should cover the first two laces of your shoes. And then it's not important for you to wear a tie every day to the office, to the college, and unless it is a very, very formal event. So, but your shirt has to be very, very formal. And in case it's winter, then you wear normally suits or you wear combination suits, but see to it, mostly the formal wear is always the top and the bottom, that is the coat and the trousers are of the same family. And also be very, very careful when you wear a formal coat. A formal coat is only formal if it has a cut or a vent at the back. The color of your belt matches the color of your shoe, and it is always well polished. The color of the socks matches the color of your shoe or the color of your trousers. Hair well done, no extra accessories for except for a little bit, maybe a ring or so and a watch. Nothing else should be visible. And the ladies out there, in case you're wearing saris, then do not pick up very colorful saris. Stick to bordered saris or linen saris, which are more formal, and salwar kurtas, which are more trendier than fashionable, and a dupatta. Of course, you can wear western wear, a kurti and a pant with it. That is also perfectly all right. But the grooming is very important. The accessories are very important. Don't wear anything extra fashion conscious or very elaborate stuff. Your hair should be well done. Your face should be little groomed. Your nails should be little groomed. Your mouth should not smell when you speak to people. These are little starting ABC, baby steps as we start working on our personality. And when we work on our personality, we polish our personality in such a way that anyone and everyone who comes to you get impressed. And that is your chance now to implement the life skills which you're going to learn as you go ahead. Because every life skill, whether it is about your stress management, whether it's about people management, whether it's about presentation skills, whether it is about public speaking, whether it's about anything and everything, starts from you. So the first person you need to work upon is you. And when you start working upon yourself, only then you will be able to pick up the rest of the skills which are supposed to be presentable to others. And before I end today, because I was given just 1 hour, I don't know, I see some people are, well, be reading the body language, as I said, matters a lot. So I see somebody sitting like that. Maybe their right ear was up trying to listen to me. But this is just the beginning of what I want to tell you in life skills, because as I said, life starts with you and we are all interconnected. Your life will interconnect with the student's life, and the student life is interconnected with his organization's life. So the whole thing starts from you. When you take charge of your own self, only then you will be able to take the charge of your students going ahead. But before I end, two skills or two important skills which are with our personal stress management, I will just finish them with these two stories which might inspire you in your life to take charge of your own self. So number one story is that a mother was sitting on a chair. एक मम्मी थी जो एक चेयर पे बैठी हुई थी, and the chair was very high, ऊंची सी कुर्सी थी, and she was doing embroidery, वो कढ़ाई कर रही थी उसके ऊपर, and her child was playing on the floor, बच्चा जमीन पे खेल रहा था. सो वो जब वो नीचे से ऊपर देख रहा था तो उसको नीचे से कढ़ाई दिख रहा था, नीचे से एम्ब्रॉयडरी दिख रहा था. सो द चाइल्ड लुक्ड अप एंड सॉ सम जम्बल्ड अप थ्रेड्स, और उसने पूछा, मॉम क्या बना रही हो? और मामा ने क्या कहा, बेटा बड़ी सुंदर एम्ब्रॉयडरी कर रही हूँ, बहुत सुंदर फूल बना रही हूँ, पर मुझे तो नहीं दिख रहा. द चाइल्ड सेड. सो मामा ने क्या बोला, रुक जाओ, पूरा होगा तो फिर दिखाऊंगी. एंड शी गॉट बिजी. आफ्टर हाफ एन आवर बच्चे ने फिर देखा, और ज्यादा उलझा उलझा, फिर पूछा, माँ क्या बना रही हो? शी सेज, बहुत सुंदर फूल बना रही हूँ, पर मुझे तो नहीं दिख रहा. शी सेज, हैव पेशेंस, पूरा होगा तो दिखाऊंगी. एंड इवेंचुअली मामा ने पूरा किया, एंड शी टर्न्ड एंड शोड दैट एम्ब्रॉयडरी टू द चाइल्ड. इट वाज अ ब्यूटीफुल मल्टी कलर्ड फ्लावर. नाउ व्हाट इज द मॉरल ऑफ द स्टोरी? द मॉरल ऑफ द स्टोरी इज कि भगवान ऊपर बैठ के एम्ब्रॉयडरी कर रहे हैं, और हम सब उस बच्चे की तरह नीचे से उस एम्ब्रॉयडरी को देखते हैं और रोज पूछते हैं, क्या बना रहा है मेरी जिंदगी का? और भगवान क्या कहते हैं, बहुत खूबसूरत फूल बना रहा हूं, रुक जाओ, हैव पेशेंस, पूरा होगा तो दिखाऊंगा. एंड वन फाइन डे व्हेन ही टर्न्स अराउंड एंड ही शोज दैट फ्लावर टू यू, यू रियलाइज कि कितना अच्छा हो रहा था. ये ना होता तो वो ना होता, वो ना होता तो ये ना होता. सो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फर्स्ट स्किल यू मस्ट डेवलप इन योरसेल्फ इज द पेशेंस. यू नो, बच्चा पैदा होते ही नहीं भागने लगता. लाइफ इज लाइक अ सर्कल, दुख भी आता है, सुख भी आता है, दुख भी आता है, सुख भी आता है. एंड ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, व्हेन यू आर स्टक इन अ रट, आपको लग रहा है चीजें नहीं हिल रही हैं, वो हिल रही हैं, आपको दिख नहीं रही हैं. चेंज इज डेफिनेटली हैपनिंग, वक्त चेंज होगा, दिस टू शैल पास. सो ऑलवेज हैव पेशेंस. एंड माय सेकंड लास्ट स्टोरी बिफोर आई वाइंड अप फॉर टुडे is that a mechanic was working, an engineer was working on the 50th floor of a building. 50th फ्लोर, इतना ऊंचा. एंड दैट बिल्डिंग वाज अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन, लिफ्ट भी नहीं लगी थी, अभी बिल्डिंग बन रही थी. एंड दिस गाय इज ऑन द 50th फ्लोर, द मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर, एंड ही वाज फिक्सिंग समथिंग. सडनली ही रियलाइज कि स्क्रू ड्राइवर तो नीचे ही छूट गया. अब उसको बड़ी चिंता हुई, इफ आई गो डाउन, 50 मंजिल नीचे जाऊं, फिर 50 मंजिल ऊपर आऊं, मैं तो बहुत थक जाऊंगा. व्हाट डू आई डू, कैसे लेके आऊं स्क्रू ड्राइवर? सो उसने सोचा, ऊपर से देखता हूं, कोई तो दिखेगा, उसको मैं आवाज लगा के बोलूंगा कि स्क्रू ड्राइवर ऊपर ला दे. सो ही लुक डाउन, उसको एक दिखा मजदूर जो पत्थर तोड़ रहा था. सो उसने आवाज लगाई, लेकिन 50th फ्लोर से आवाज मजदूर तक नहीं पहुंची. एंड ही सेज, अब क्या करूं, और कोई नहीं दिख रहा, क्या करूं टू गेट हिज अटेंशन? सो व्हाट ही डिड, ही थॉट कि मैं एक 100 रुपए का नोट नीचे फेंकता हूं. सो ही थ्रू अ 100 रुपी नोट डाउन, और वो 100 रुपी का नोट धीरे 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 मजदूर के पास आके गिरा. इंजीनियर ने सोचा उसको टिप भी हो जाएगी ऊपर आने के लिए, और वो ऊपर भी देखेगा कहाँ से पैसे मिले, एंड आई टेल हिम स्क्रू ड्राइवर ले आओ. सो वो 100 रुपी का नोट घूमता घूमता मजदूर के पास पहुंचा. ही लुक्ड एट दैट नोट, लेफ्ट राइट में देख के जेब में डाल दिया. ही डिडंट इवन लुक अप. अब वो मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर को बड़ा गुस्सा आया कि पैसे भी ले लिए, ऊपर नहीं देखा. उसने 500 का नोट नीचे फेंका. सो 500 का नोट भी उड़ता 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 उस मजदूर के पास आके गिरा. उसने लेफ्ट में देखा, राइट में देखा, नोट उठाया, जेब में डाल दिया. अब उसको बहुत गुस्सा आया मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर को कि पैसे फेंकता जा रहा हूँ, ये देख नहीं रहा, ऊपर क्या करूं. ही गॉट वेरी एंग्री. एक छोटा सा कंकर पड़ा था, उसको उठाया, एम किया, और उसने मजदूर की तरफ लगाया. तो मजदूर को जैसे ही वो पत्थर लगा, ही लुक्ड अप एंड सेड, व्हाई मी? सो व्हाट इज द मॉरल ऑफ द स्टोरी? भगवान जब आपको देता है ना, तो यू टेकन इट फॉर ग्रांटेड, जेब में रख लेते, थैंक यू तक नहीं बोलते हम भगवान को व्हेन ही गिव्स इट टू अस. एक पत्थर पड़ता है भगवान से, एंड वी आर ऑलवेज आस्किंग एंड क्वेश्चनिंग, व्हाई मी? So it's very important to have gratitude in life. That is another big life skill you need to learn. Patience and gratitude are the two skills which will take you way ahead in life, whether it's your personal life or whether it's your professional life. So with these two stories, I would like to end the presentation today. I was given an hour. I've already gone 3 minutes ahead. Thank you very much for having me over, bearing with me, keeping your head straight as per body language. अगर सर नो, कीपिंग योर हेड स्टिल्टेड, जैसे मैंने कहा भी, मैंने एक मैम को ऐसे देखा था. हम दोनों कान से एट अ टाइम नहीं सुनते, एक कान से सुनते, वो हमेशा ऊपर रहता है। तो अगर स्ट्रेट हेड था तो मतलब आप सुन नहीं रहे हो, और अगर टिल्टेड है तो आप सुन रहे हो। पीछे सब बैठे, उनकी टिल्टेड थे, आप सीधे हो गए। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच एवरीवन, हैव अ ग्रेट आफ्टरनून एंड थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग मी ओवर। थैंक यू।
We from the family of Gibbs, we would like to thank you very much, ma'am. It was a very indeed lovely session and an insightful session. We learned a lot about basic skills of life that a person should include, and as a teacher we are probably going to impart our students the skills that we have learned today. Again, from Gibbs family, from our faculty, we thank you for bearing with us and taking out time in your busy schedule. We know it's not easy. Although it would have been nicer that you would have come in an offline session. Online sessions are not too interactive, we know that. But yes, we plan on calling you for our upcoming events in an offline mode, and we'll be happy to share experiences with you and you sharing your experiences with us. With this,
Thank
I
you.
thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out time, and have a lovely day. Stay safe, stay healthy, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Bye everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
ma'am.